this journey my whole life because it started with my name, Talitha Cumi, which literally means little girl, wake up. And I can't say it's been easy. There's been a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. But I believe life is all in your decision making. The I Am Talitha Cumi show is a combination of things that I love to talk about. And I want to enlighten you, encourage you, and inspire you to be the best you can be with some help from my guest. Let's talk about it.
And we are live here at the Botham Jean Foundation Gala event, you guys. I feel like there are so many people, like you said, that are in pain from stress or whatever it is, and we're going to the doctor. They're giving us this medication. This medication sometimes is making us worse. Sometimes the medication is not working. Sometimes the medication has so many side effects. So is there anything that I left?
No, other than my name is pronounced Georgia Nay.
Georgia, I was pronouncing that all wrong. Georgia Nay. My bad. I hate when people pronounce my name wrong too.
Tappity Kuma.
Welcome to the I Am Talitha Cumi show on Vegas Hype Media. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can catch us here every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. on our Food for the Soul Media Group FB page and YouTube station. Also on Vegas Hype Media's FB page and YouTube station and the Mixler app for those of you who may just want to listen to us live. Shout out to Quan on the ones and twos, keeping us looking and sounding right. Also, I got to shout out my baby, Big Bobby B, who's live in our chat room right now. You guys, this weather is ridiculous right now. So I hope that you guys are safe. You're somewhere safe watching the show. And if you're traveling, be careful traveling on the roads. So as always, I'm talking to my guests about some stuff you may just want to know about. Some stuff that you may not know about. And my disclaimer is always, these are my opinions, not fact, just my opinions. And some of the opinions of our guests are not always the opinions of the I Am Talitha Cumi show, Food for the Soul Media Group, or Vegas Hype Media. And if you want to weigh in, please leave us a comment in the chat room on YouTube or our FB page. And please, if you are watching us on Vegas Hype YouTube station right now, make sure you go to our Food for the Soul Media Group YouTube station as well and hit that subscribe button for us. I'm still trying to get my subscriber game up, you guys. I know you guys are watching, so just go the extra mile and click that subscribe button for me. And then also follow me on my pages and like and share them. Instagram at Food for the Soul Media Group and I Am Talitha _Cumi. Are you a barber or a hairstylist? Do you want to get crisp lines after cuts? Do you want to have some great protection for your hair units and weaves? Give Crisp Products a try. You can go to www.crisproduts.com by Mook the Barber. And you guys, we are looking for sponsors and donors to help keep our show a priority in bringing you great news, good discussions, great guests, and we need you. So promote your business with us. And if you would like to have more information about that, you can go to our email at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com. So today we're discussing what rights with our very special guest, North Las Vegas Judge Belinda T. Harris. And I found a little blurb for you. Belinda T. Harris lives by a mantra that your home should be a place of pride, justice, and love. She is a native-born Las Vegan and cares deeply about the Las Vegas Valley and its communities. She spent her childhood in North Las Vegas, a community she continues to embrace. She is a proud graduate of the Clark County Public Education School System. And during her early education, she attended Myrtle Tate for her elementary school, and Ed Von Tobel for middle school. And in 1993, the Clark County School District, what did you go to, like different schools or just one school?
No, it was all Clark County. So in 1993, Clark County started their magnet program, which is very popular now. At the time, it was only one, Las Vegas Academy of Performing International Studies and Arts, which is not far from here. It's actually about 2 blocks up. It was the old Las Vegas High School, but it was the first magnet program of its kind here in Clark County.
Wow.
So in 1993, instead of going to Rancho, where I was zoned for, I was bused down here for performing arts school, where my major was dance.
Okay, then.
And I was the first full 4-year graduating class of Las Vegas Academy.
Wow.
I understand right now it's like one of the top schools in the nation.
That's good.
All the people want to go there.
Good.
A bunch of great people came from there. So yes, that's where I went to high school at.
I'm excited about that. Well, welcome to the show. Now, Judge, I remember you coming on my show when I was at Hot 702 back in, was that 2020 when you were running?
Yes.
Okay, 2020. And so I wanted to first ask you, how have things been since you've been in office? Like, can you give us like a little life in a judge's day, or life in the day of a judge?
Yes. At this time, life in a judge's day. So I do criminal and civil law.
Okay.
On every morning, I do criminal law starting at 8:30.
Okay.
And every third Monday, I do small claims at 1 o'clock on Mondays, and I do landlord-tenant court every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And I also do temporary protection orders and traffic.
Okay.
And so it has been extremely busy, very, very busy. But it actually has been great because my goal was to make direct, immediate impact. And I can say that I am doing that. For example, on today, after I did court, because the court is open 7 days a week.
Okay.
We do court every day there. But after court today, we did a record sealing event where we partnered with Las Vegas Legal Aid, the District Attorney's Office, the 8th Judicial District Court, and a bunch of other community partners were involved. And probably about over 150 people got their records sealed today.
Wow.
Which means any blemishes that they had on their criminal record is no longer present. And it basically gave people a little bit of a fresh start.
A second chance, yeah.
Yeah, a fresh start. I don't like to say second chance, but a fresh start.
Okay.
With that, many of the people were thriving and successful, but you could see that was a weight that was lifted off of many people's backs. Okay. And that it was a very, very feel-good day. So my energy is not as high as it normally is because I've been working all day.
Oh, yeah. And the rain.
And so things of that nature have been able to happen. But life in the day of the judge has been busy. I've still been engaged with my community, extremely active, making sure that I am in touch with my constituents, seeing what they need, how to better serve them, how to make the judiciary restore the confidence and trust back into the judiciary that has been lost a little bit.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen over the last few years, the buck stops with the court. People can make laws and things can go, and when people don't like laws, they often litigate, and when they litigate, it goes to court, and it can often go from one court to the next court all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. Okay. And from there, they put down decisions. As you know, one of the most major ones was they did a decision based on affirmative action and whether it's applicable and who is applicable to, and should it be used and how should it not be used. And so the court is really, really shaping society as we know it on a daily basis. So I'm doing my part in trying to do that. But it has been great. I'm glad that I'm there, and I can also tell you that I can totally see why I'm there, my purpose. Daily, when I go back and I put my robe on and I take the bench, I know why I'm there during this time. Good. So that's a good feeling.
Well, I am glad. I'm glad that you made it because I know you were very, very passionate about working in your community where you grew up.
Correct.
So I'm happy that you got a chance to get in there and care for the people that some of them you grew up with.
Absolutely.
And so I don't want to get you into any trouble because I know that there are some things that you cannot really give an opinion on. So just tell me if I'm out of line with a question and we can try and go in a different direction or whatever. But I wanted to just kind of do something light, and I wanted to talk about what's going on with the Alabama situation. And I don't want to talk really about the security guard. Have you seen it? You've seen the?
I've seen clips of it, and so I haven't seen all of it or and then you hear different stories about in casual conversation and things like that.
Right.
But to be honest, it's funny. Due to my job and what I deal with on a daily, a lot of times I don't watch the news and I don't keep up with I guess things that are deemed current events.
And that's understandable.
Because I'm current in majority of the events that I'm seeing on a daily basis.
Right. And so and that's understandable. And so I got a chance to just kind of watch a little bit of it, the brawl and what happened. And I didn't really want to talk about the security guard, but I wanted to talk about the people that kind of jumped in after the security guard was, kind of getting attacked, and the chair guy, he turned himself in. And I read an article about him turning himself in and being charged. But what I wanted to ask you was, do you know what kinds of legal issues could come for those who came after the fact?
So this is what I will say. Each state has its own laws.
Okay.
And I am not barred in the state of Alabama.
Okay.
I do not know. I've never practiced in the state of Alabama. I do have a good friend, shout out Judge Ruby Davis from Birmingham, Alabama, who's a judge there. And so each state has different laws.
Okay.
And their laws may be different. For example, an example of a law is a Good Samaritan law. In the state of Nevada, we don't necessarily have a Good Samaritan law, which means that if you see something going on, you have to jump in and aid that person. So in other states, they do have Good Samaritan laws. And so I'm not sure if Alabama has a Good Samaritan law or not.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that would be applicable or not.
Okay.
Because each state has its own laws. And as you know, judges have a lot of discretion. Prosecuting agencies have a lot of discretion.
Okay.
Prosecuting agencies have a lot of discretion on who they will charge, what they will charge, okay? And judges have a lot of discretion on interpreting the law, applying the law, and, if it is one that will be sentenced by a judge, what sentence one will get. So because I'm not familiar with Alabama law in that sense, I can't really answer that question intelligently.
So the Good Samaritan law, you're saying, is a law that you can use that law to help, or that law has you not helping?
It just depends. That's what I mean. The law is very, very fluid. Okay. So it's one of those things that you have to have all the facts before you.
Right.
Each case is different, right? And this is the judge talking, right? You have to have all the facts before you. Each case is different. And you have to look at the facts and assess and weigh out what will happen, right? So you never know what defense will be presented, and you never know what the prosecution will argue. And then you decide based on, because it is an adversarial system here that we have in America, right? We have the prosecution and we have the defense. And each side is able to present their case to the best and fullest of their ability. And then the judge decides, well, or it could even go before a jury. And during a jury trial, that's 12 people of the community, 12 peers, and they make the decision of guilt and innocence and who they believe and who was the most persuasive. And then the judge was sentenced. Or sometimes it's a bench trial where the judge hears the facts and then the judge decides. So it's one of those things where it always depends. Even in practicing law, most lawyers are not going to tell you something, this is going to happen, 100% guaranteed, because you can't say that. It's very fluid.
Well, I'm happy that that you said that judges have the discretion to kind of make decisions as well. So I'm not sure what's going to happen in that, but I just wanted to get your opinion, because from what it looked like, they a lot of the gang that everybody's shouting out, they came after the fact, and the chair guy especially came after the fact. So I didn't know if he would be charged really harshly, because he just looked like he was just coming in just to kind of try and help, but he was swinging that chair,
And we're watching a video, right? We weren't there. We don't know the facts. We don't know what happened, what was said. We don't know anything, right? We just looking kind of like at a movie in a sense. And so we're all coming to our own conclusions, but We don't know the law in Alabama.
Yeah. Okay.
And we don't know. I don't even know what he was charged with.
Yeah, and I don't. I want to say it might have been assault. And like I said, I was just reading the article, kind of trying to catch what they are sharing now versus watching the video, because I wanted to have my facts straight. So that's understandable. So I understand that. Well, I wanted to talk another thing, and you might not know about this either, but over the last few years, we've heard about a lot of police killings, and one that sticks out is Philando Castile, his killing, because it was streamed live, and I just saw an independent film based on that, loosely based on it. So when he was stopped, he told the officer that he had a licensed weapon in the car, and when he asked to reach for his registration, he was shot. So what I wanted to know is, one, did you hear about this story? Like, is it a real, true story?
I think that officer went to trial and was found not guilty, if I'm not mistaken. I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
And my question is, does the officer, and this might be different, like you said, but does the officer have to tell us what they pulled us over for? Because I remember when I was watching the movie, it looked like he's like, well, what did you pull me over for? And the officer never did really say why he pulled him over.
Well, I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
I have not seen the live stream of it. Once again, probably
I didn't watch the
something
live stream either.
that I probably would never watch.
Yeah. I couldn't
just
do it.
be right, because I don't want to see anything like that. And I did not watch the movie. And law enforcement interaction with citizens is always tricky.
Okay.
And that's what I'll say on that, right? I've never been a police officer. I don't know their mindset at all. I can't attest to that. I can't attest to the things that they see and the dangers that they are put in, right? Based on different telephone calls and traffic stops and things of that nature. So I can't really attest to that, and I didn't see it.
But what I was asking though is do we have the right as citizens, if somebody pulls us over, do we have the right to ask, like, hey, well, officer, why did you pull me over? Are they supposed to tell us that, or do they not have to tell us?
Well, and so once again, it's fluid.
Okay.
And
Same thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's really fluid.
So the officer has the discretion on whether they.
I'm not going to say that, because it's fluid, right? Each case is different.
Okay.
Once again, it's not. None of this is black and white. That's what I will say, and none of it's black and white. And I can't say what should or should not happen, because once again, you have to have all the facts.
Okay.
You have to know what they thought or what their mindset was, and these aren't questions I can answer because I don't know.
Well, in your court system, like, what has there been like an uptick of cases that you've seen recently, like say within the past year or so, where you're like, golly, this case is coming up a lot. This type of situation is coming up a lot.
I do landlord tenant.
Okay, so that's okay. Well, yeah, shoot.
Yeah, I do landlord tenant. And there have been some changes in the laws here, in the housing laws here in the state of Nevada. And that's something I deal with on a regular.
Okay.
So yes.
And so with that, with the tenant law, you're hearing cases from tenants who are, I'm assuming, maybe being evicted or something like that or whatever, and they're trying to come to court to ask for leniency or
some type of solution or some type of assistance. And the question is always presented, well, if I leave here, where do I go?
Okay. And so with the pandemic, when the pandemic was in session, or when it was at its height in 2020, 2021, I'm assuming you didn't see a whole lot of cases because we had.
Did.
You did still?
It was, yes, it was. So and there were different laws and different things and protections.
Okay.
You can't live anywhere for free.
Right. Absolutely.
Here in America, you just can't.
Right.
And so, we are a right to work state, and some people fell on extremely hard times. Mm-hmm. And it was for both people, for landlords and tenants, right?
So
and for tenants and landlords. Yeah. It has been extremely hard time for all of us.
Okay.
And so it was one of those things where, yes, you still seeing the uptick. Mm-hmm. And yes, people were filing for eviction, and some people were getting evicted and some people were not. And as a result of that, some landlords were falling behind and getting into financial situations.
Yes, because they were the owners. So
Correct.
I can get with that.
Correct.
And so I remember us talking about you being born and raised, what you said, in the North Las Vegas area. And I want to talk about how has it helped you to deal with defendants and your caseload? Like, how hard would it be, or do you think it would be, for a judge that really didn't live in the type of city that they're reigning over? You know what I'm saying?
So what I think is, I think what happens a lot of times with the judiciary, and I think this is for a lot of people who are in places of privilege.
Okay.
Because I definitely live in a place of privilege. It's that sometimes you get disconnected to what others may be encountering.
Okay.
Because that's not your reality.
Got it.
And so I think that one of the major things to happen is to make sure that you are in tune with the community in general as a whole, with everybody. Like I said, tenants and landlords and tenants, because it's different information, different resources, different stories that you will hear. And so I always say, we can all eat a piece of humble pie, because there, by the grace of God, there go I. To make sure that you understand the difficulties and where people who are appearing in front of you are coming from.
Okay, and I can get with that too. Can you let us know? And I thought really hard about these questions. By the way, is there a place or something? I don't know. It's maybe on TV or something like that, or whatever, where we as citizens should go to see what's happening in our communities other than watching the news? Because I know a lot of times we, like, I don't watch the news a lot just because I just don't. But I do want to know what's going on in my community as far as laws and different things like that. And I think a lot of us sometimes are not aware unless it is right knocking at our front door. And so is there a place where you guys discuss that, where we can kind of go and like, okay, what's going on in my community? I can go to, Channel 3 cable station or something that,
So in the state of Nevada, we have assembly men and women and state senators.
Got it.
And so I always tell people, if you can, find out who your representative is
in your
area. We have U.S. senators, U.S. congressmen and women, and then we have our state senators and we have our state assembly people.
Okay.
So that's a total of 4 individuals. Most people have some access to social media, or even if not social media, the internet in general. And I would say that you find out who your representatives are and go and find out what they're doing and what they're talking about. Because they're your representatives and they're the people who are advocating for money for you, for your schools, for your housing, for your health care, for your general everyday things. Find out who your elected officials are and, pay attention to what they have going on and what they're talking about. You can get a plethora of information. Most of them post events that they're having or hosting, where they'll be. I know majority of them do town halls where they would want you to come and ask your questions while they also feed you information. And the library. Okay. The library district here in Clark County has a lot of information. Okay. Also, FM 88.1 is a good resource. It's the radio station. I know a lot of us listen to XM radio, or we put our phones on and listen to what we want now. But listening to local radio stations, I just said FM 88.1 because I know I listen to them a lot myself for information, but a lot of radio stations have a lot of information as well.
Okay, so radio stations are the way to go, especially in the morning when you're driving. You listen to some of the things that they have going on in town hall.
So follow who you're elected. Do you know who your elected are?
I have no clue.
Okay, so you're a resource and access.
Yes.
You can find out who they are. Follow them. I know you do social media.
Yes.
Follow them. Maybe have them on the podcast
and find out what's going on in my community. Because I'm actually in North Las. I'm on the cusp of like one street over. I'm not North Las Vegas, so I just barely made it. So yeah, I'm in North Las Vegas. So.
Okay, so I'll
look it up.
Find out who's there and reach out to them, have conversations, follow them on social media. all of the above, and you
Okay.
would have a plethora of information.
Yes, and I want to have a plethora of information, and I want to be able to share it with people, and that's the reason why I do the podcast. So absolutely looking them up and then seeing if they would grace my table.
They will.
I'm
sure they will.
Yeah.
Majority of our electeds, I can say, on both sides of the aisles. Nevada is a weird place in that sense because you have access to a lot of our elected officials.
Okay.
If not majority of them. And that's the beauty of living here. It's a little bit weird, but you can see them anywhere doing all kind of community service events on both sides of the aisle. And they can give you information or tell you what bill they sponsored or what law passed or what information is out there. They can answer the questions probably better suited than I can.
Okay, absolutely. Well, do you feel that North Las Vegas sees different crimes versus Las Vegas proper? Do you feel like in our city, because I can say our city, that we might see some different things going on there or is it just pretty much kind of all around the same?
I probably think it's all around the same.
Okay.
The economic, socioeconomics plays a big part in how things are.
Okay.
And so I know, North Las Vegas, statistically, the medium income range there is not as high as some other like Las Vegas or
areas.
Henderson or things of that nature. But I think it's pretty much all the same.
Okay, across the board. Well, give us your final thoughts on the rights topic as a judge. Like, are there some things that you don't want to see anymore in your courtroom where you're like, I am so tired of y'all coming in with this? Are there some things you're like, I just wish that this would get better?
I wish the housing situation would get better.
And I thought you were going to say that.
In general, right?
Because it's rough. Yeah.
And I don't think anybody wants to come to court and say, put this person out because they didn't pay.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody likes to come to court and say, well, I can't pay.
Yes.
Right? I don't think anybody wants to be in that court.
Yeah. And that's, it's just rough. So I'm constantly praying for that because luckily we didn't have to go through that, because we had family and different things like that we can fall back on. But now that these landlords, they need their money, and then you have people, like me who was a tenant who's like, well, if I don't have a job, like how am I gonna pay you your money? Like, so we're just kind of at a crossroads. Right. So I get it.
And I think nobody wants to be there, right? Nobody wants to be in that situation, the landlord or the tenant.
Yes.
The tenant or the landlord.
Absolutely. I can agree with that. Well, my last question, Judge, is God, truth or a lie? Why or why not?
God. I'm a
truth
believer.
Or a lie?
I'm a believer.
Why? Why is God the truth?
I just live by faith.
Okay.
And that's a deep question that we don't really have a lot of time to get into.
Okay.
But I'm an extreme person of faith.
Okay.
And I do believe I'm a Christian. I don't push my religion on anyone, but I'm a true believer from my own personal experiences.
Okay. So from your own personal experience, you would say that God is the truth. Is that what I heard you saying?
That's correct.
Did I do that right? Or was that like a good lawyer type of thing? Well, I want to thank you so much, Judge Belinda. Like I said, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that you were able to get your seat. You weren't the first black judge, were you? You were, weren't you?
I am.
Did you get any type of accolades for that? Did they shoot some stuff up in the sky for you?
I think they did.
I
think they did. I have a lot of love. I have a lot of love, a lot of community support.
Good.
And I think they did. And shout out to Judge Courtney Ketter.
Okay.
Because he is now the first black male judge in North Las Vegas.
Wow. Okay.
He got elected in 22.
Okay.
So he's been on the bench. Okay. And so shout out to him because he's down in North Las Vegas Municipal Court.
Okay.
So now there are 2 black judges in North Las Vegas.
What about the mayor? Was she the first black too?
She was.
Mayor Goins?
Yes, she is.
Was? Okay.
Absolutely. And she's the mayor of North Las Vegas. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Shout out to her as well.
Okay. And so what have you seen, this is like a by question. Have you seen possibly like maybe a turnaround in the fact that we have representation in a community where there are a lot of black citizens where they're like, hey, okay, we're going to try and do better.
I started off the podcast saying that. We just had a big event today.
Okay.
And so you can see the direct, immediate impact of why representation matters.
Good. Well, thank you again. I want you to be safe out here. When we come back, our special spotlight artist, LeeCee. I want to say, I hope I'm saying that right because it's LeeCee. So I didn't get a chance to ask her. But LeeCee is in the building, I think. We'll be right back. Worldwide.
I think that people who are afraid to express themselves through art is the biggest pet peeve of mine, flat out.
And we are back. If you just joined us, you're tuned in to the I Am Talitha Cumi show by Food for the Soul Media Group with me, Talitha Cumi, live on FB and YouTube on Food for the Soul Media Group and Vegas Hype Media. So you guys, I need to introduce my special spotlight artist of the evening, and it is LeeCee. So I was right. LeeCee is a sweet, soulful singer with a modern twist of 90s and early 2000s R&B style infused with the sounds of hip hop. Originally from Los Angeles, she began her music career at the age of 15 and now resides in Las Vegas. Music has always been a therapeutic outlet for LeeCee and a way for her to inspire, heal, and empower others with positivity using sweet sounding melodies. Today, she has a total of 1.7 million streams and has also won Song of the Year for her single Beautiful Mess at the Las Vegas Music Awards. From being featured on songs with DJ Drama and Dave East to being and executing on stage, this is only the beginning of an era for LeeCee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you've been over there kind of waiting, hanging out, and I hope you're not afraid. I just got a couple of questions for you before you actually get a chance to perform.
All
so
right.
in your bio, it talks about you being a 90s and 2000s is what you blend in your sound. Why did you choose that specific genre of music?
I honestly,
Or time
I grew So I was born in 95. Okay. So I just like grew up around a lot of that music. But the 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s is when I really, I guess, started gravitating towards music more. And then I really dove into 2000s like music on my own. And there's just so many songs from that time still today that I can hear, and it just sparks so many memories and nostalgia for me. It just really shaped who I was and as a person and as an artist.
So the crazy part about it is me and my husband, we talk a lot because he does music as well, and he keeps saying the 90s is back, the 90s is back. Yes. So do you feel like you chose the right era because now you can really infuse that 90s sound with the 2023 sound, and people are like, yeah, that's dope?
Yeah. I honestly feel like all of the like the 90s, the 70s, that everything has been repeating itself. Like I see a lot of artists that are diving into that aesthetic of like the way that people used to dress in the 70s, even like the subject matter of the songs, like the sound, everything. So I feel like, I mean, I've been incorporating it like even before now. Like I just love the fashion, and right now I feel like early 2000s, the fashion and everything, that sound is like really hot right now. Everyone's like Y2K. Yeah. But I feel like it's a perfect time. It gives me the opportunity to bring some of that realness back to now.
Yes, I can agree with that. I can agree. The early 90s was a pretty cool year for me. A lot of people don't know I used to dance, like hip hop dance, not stripper pole dance. But in the early 90s, all of the groups that came out around that time, especially hip hop and even R&B, that's when they kind of started to fuse R&B and hip hop together. So remembering Rump Shaker with Teddy Riley and Mary J. Blige coming out and fusing her stuff. So that was really a cool era. What have been some challenges for you in your career, especially post-pandemic? Like what have you seen with your career that you're like, golly, this is a little bit harder than I expected?
I feel like right now, I think the hardest thing post-pandemic would be not trying to be relevant, but it's hard to capture people's attention now. I feel like because during the pandemic, I feel like consumed so much like content, and everybody was literally creating, even like the mainstream celebrities, they had to like break down and do stuff on their own. So now it's just about staying consistent and just creating content. And because everyone's attention spans are so short, but you really just have to, you don't know what people are gonna like. You just have to be consistent and just post. Like it can be anything. So if anything, I feel like that is probably the hardest thing for me. It's just I need to be a little more consistent with that. Okay. But yeah.
Okay. So just basically you're trying to kind of figure out how to reach more people. Yes, and what to be more consistent in, because sometimes I've seen where singers or actors, they are posting something about their kids, or they're posting about what they're eating or their workout regimen or whatever, and we're just kind of weird. And so you might see a Kevin Hart posting what he's doing with his workout, and everybody's like loving it. So he has to kind of figure out, okay, well, it looks like I'm posting this and they really loving this, so I'm gonna give them more of me working out. So that's what you're saying, like just trying to kind of figure out.
Yeah, I guess you just want to like make people feel connected to you in some sort of way. So like being able to show people your workout regimens, like people just want to feel like they know you. And I think it was my producer that was saying this is like a bottle of water. Like we see like the name of the water, but on the back, like people want to know what makes you you. Like what's those ingredients? Like why should I follow you, or why should I listen to your music? Like it's not just about selling that product, but like you have to make people want to know you and that makes sense. And I'm glad that that's what we do
have that for. We can use our social media platform for good and be able to pitch ourselves in that manner. Well, I just watched the First Ladies of Hip Hop, and I saw the accolades that they were giving to many of the women that helped to start hip hop and who are in hip hop now. But what I see is a lot of freedom to be unapologetically a woman. So what do you think the movement is in music now, especially with women? Like, what message do you think that they are trying to, the industry is trying to show us?
So I feel like the girls are really taking over right now. Like, they're really killing it. I love to see so many like hip hop, so many women in hip hop again, like back in the day. I think what I would like to see is more of them come together to make, you know, maybe empowering records like they used to give us back in the day. But I personally love the freedom that I'm seeing women like embracing themselves, like their sexuality, who they are, and things like that. Because I feel like in hip hop for so long, men were, you know, sexualizing our bodies and stuff. So for women to be like, to stand up and take that power back, I think it's really great. The only thing is, I know, like, you know, our youth can be inspired by us seeing some of these things. So that's the only thing that I don't agree with, because like music is such a huge part of all of our lives. Like that it teaches us, like we learn and we act accordingly based on like what we think is cool, based on like what's hot in music. So that's the only thing, that the downfall of that. But I absolutely love that it's just teaching us to like embrace ourselves and love who we are. And it's not for the attention of a man or anything. It's like simply because we really want, because we want to do this for ourselves. It's not for the attention of a man anymore. It's literally to liberate and uplift us. And
I can get with that. I can see that, and I can see where that movement is going. So tell us what you have coming up and how we can follow you on social media, please.
All right. So my album Blue Aura Music is dropping August 25th, and I'm doing a live stream listening party on the 24th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I'm going to go live on my YouTube channel. So everybody, please make sure y'all follow me on YouTube. It's at The Real LeeCee. You can follow me on Instagram at LeeCee Music, and all other platforms at LeeCee Music as well.
Okay, and that's LeeCee. So you guys can look that up. So my last question, do you think that Christians can really be comfortable singing music that sometimes goes against what they believe?
I feel like once God starts working deep in your heart, there's certain things that won't resonate. Like I have friends right now that are transitioning into their walk with Christ, even changing their music. Like I have a friend that does hip hop and she's now doing Christian hip hop, and then another friend that's doing Christian R&B now. And I also am on this journey getting closer with God, but there's just certain things that I still listen to that, I mean, I don't see the problem with yet, but once, like I said, once God starts working on you, like there's just a lot of things that probably won't sit right with you anymore. So I don't believe that you could be like a full, like firm believer, but you indulge in like all the other things. It's like wanting to keep your toe dipped over here and then
and putting on straddling, straddling the fence a little bit.
But
okay, I can see that too. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming out. As we close the show out, please keep in mind we are looking for positive artists who would like to have a live feature performance to end my show every week. I'm a lover of all things music, and I really would love to showcase you and give you a platform to do your thing. You can be a Christian artist or a secular artist, but we just need music with some substance and positivity. If you're interested, you can go to our email at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com, and you can get more information, and you could be our next guest. So closing us out is our spotlight artist of the week, LeeCee, with Girls Around the Globe.
Put some respect on my name, 'cause LeeCee not playing no games, no. When you see me, you better recognize I'm not just anybody. You better treat me right, you better talk to me nice. I'm winning, I'm giving, I'm coming for what I want. You got it, you know it, just claim it, and girl, it's yours. I'm winning, I'm giving, I'm coming for what I want. You got it, you know it, just claim it, and girl, it's yours. Yeah. This is for my girls around the globe who get it on their own, doing everything they want. Yeah, this is for my girls around the globe who get it on their own. That's the type of shit I'm on. I like everything expensive, so bougie, so classy, I'm about my business. If it ain't what I want, then baby, it's not given. I got a vision, and a girl like me is always on a mission. Got a house up in the hills, just popped the new one. Working on my hip, just popped a few with them. Diamonds on my neck, yeah, that's a slew of them. Them chicks pursuing them. If they playing about my money, then I'm through with them. I'm winning, I'm giving, I'm coming for what I want. You got it, you know it, just claim it, and girl, it's yours. This is for my girls around the globe who get it on their own, doing everything they want. Yeah, this is for my girls around the globe who get it on their own. That's the type of shit I'm on. Independent, flawless, only messing with the boss woman. Ain't got time for no pettiness. All that drama don't pay no attention, and don't get offended 'cause I do me. If I pop out, this gon' be a fee. This ain't for fun, baby, I gotta eat. I don't want it to come out the sea. This is for my girls around the globe who get it on their own, doing everything they want. Yeah, this is for my girls around the globe who get it on their own. That's the type of shit I'm on. Yeah. Say, put some respect on my name, 'cause LeeCee not playing no games, no. When you see me, you better recognize I'm not just anybody. You better treat me right, talk to me nice.
So, LeeCee said, you better recognize. So, you guys, make sure to tune in every Friday to the I Am Talitha Cumi show at 7:30 p.m. on our FB page and YouTube station, Food for the Soul Media Group, or Vegas Hype Media, and tell your people. Catch the Rewind show every Wednesday, same time, 7:30 p.m. on our YouTube station. And don't forget to follow me on all of my social media platforms. I am Talitha Cumi and Food for the Soul Media Group. And like I said, please subscribe and like our stuff. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by Orlay Worldwide, Big Bobby B Beats, Crisp Products, Judge Belinda, T. Harris, and LeeCee Music. You guys, we will see you next week. Be safe out there. See you later. Bye.